Hello everyone, Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube NFL prediction segment, I'm going to be giving you my preview and analysis of the 2019-2020 NFC Wild Card matchup, which pits the Minnesota Vikings against the New Orleans Saints. Now, this game could really actually be very competitive. I understand Saints are at 13-3 going in, Vikings 10-6. The Vikings have reeled a little bit. They've lost two straight games going in, but the last game of the season was basically insignificant. It really didn't matter, at least not much if it did in terms of playoff positioning. But you look at the teams right now. I mean, the Vikings right now are a team that might actually be better than their record, considering the way they're constructed right now. They have very strong offense. They're only allowing 18.9 points per game, which is a little bit better than the Saints, actually. The Saints are allowing about 21 points per game. The thing about this is a lot of this success, of course, is going to be predicated and dependent on whether Adam Thielen or Cook are going to be 100% this game. I believe they likely will be playing in this game, but are they going to be at 100%? Vikings are on the road in this one. They defeated the Saints, as many of you remember, a couple seasons ago. They talked about the Minneapolis miracle. That was a miraculous finish, of course, for the Vikings, with Stephon Diggs making that great, I would say, at least somewhat acrobatic catch at the end of the game to win it for the Vikings. But now this game is going to go to New Orleans, and New Orleans will be seeking retribution, of course, for that loss that the Vikings had handed to them earlier. Looking at this as well, the Saints are a little bit better offensively. The Saints are averaging about 29 points per game. Vikings 25. And the Vikings really, in those last two games, I understand they're off the second game. The last game of the season was basically insignificant, but they've still only put up 29 points in the last two games. The last two games the Saints have played, they put 80 points up on the board. The Saints look like they've been playing a little bit better in recent time. I am going to take the Saints in this one. I do like the Saints to come out winning this one in a close battle, likely. And the Saints are also 6-2 at home. Vikings are just mediocre 4-4 on the road. And I notice it's interesting too is the competition that the teams have faced this season. You look at the Saints. Okay, they have 3 wins against teams with a winning record this season. The Vikings only have 1 victory against a team with a winning record. And the thing about this is, we look at this as well, and what I want to see, the matchup that's going to be very compelling. I want to see the matchup with the running game of the Vikings against the Saints' run defense. The Vikings are 6th in the NFL in rushing yards per game, about 133. Saints defense, they're number 4 in run defense. It's a little bit unheralded. You hear a lot of talk about Drew Brees and their explosive offense. But the thing about it is their run defense is really very good. And I think that could be really a difference in this game. Also, Kirk Cousins has never won a playoff game. I don't even know if he's ever been in one. He's had his struggles in the Monday night games, which of course are all prime time, and this will be seen by a national audience. So I'm a little skeptical for that reason for the Vikings. I understand it's a team game and it's not all about Kirk Cousins, but I think in this particular game, with the Saints being a little bit more battle tested, and the fact that they're also, they have some incentive too, given the last 2 seasons they've been knocked out on some some very improbable endings. They had the controversial ending, of course, last season against the Rams. A lot of people think that the Saints basically got hosed. I think I'm one of those people that concur with that. And it was a defensive play that actually should, or something should have been called, and it was not. It was not called. And the Saints. Part of the reason they lost was because of that call or non-call or whatever happened in that game between the Saints and the Rams. And then, of course, the season before was the Minneapolis Miracle. So the Saints right now, they have all the incentive and motivation in the world to redeem themselves and make a good run to go to the Super Bowl this season. They are at home once again. And I think looking at looking at this, I do see that the Saints will get this done. The Saints again have won 3 consecutive games, 6 of their last 7, and that one loss was by 2 points to the 49ers, and that game could have gone either way. So they could have very easily had to have 7 consecutive wins going into this game, and it's always, of course, important to be playing well going into the postseason, which the Saints are right now. So playing a little bit better going in against the Vikings, and I think I just like their offense a little bit more. And I think their run defense can contain the Vikings running game. So anyway, again, I'm going to take the Saints at home in a close one over the Vikings. Well, people, this is Edwin Learnard, and until next time, stay well.